What's up? It's the DLS Mavs podcast presented by the Godsey Law Firm. If you or someone you'll ever find yourself saying I got hit, call the official law sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks, the Godsey Law Firm. Call 214-I-GOT-HIT or visit IJustGotHit.com. It's a little DLS Mavs bonus episode. I'm your man, Kevin Gray, and joining me today here on the DLS Mavs pod, friend of the show. He's an Emmy-winning director, producer of Mind the Game with LeBron James and, of course, Steve Nash, the old man in the three, now the young man in the three. Soon it'll be like the middle man in the three because, we got to just complete it at that point.
Yeah.
He is, of course, Jason Gallagher. Jason, what's going on?
What's up? Thanks for having me, Kevin. It's an honor to be here as always.
Well, we love having you on the show. We wanted to do it a little bit differently this time because usually when we have Jason on, it's usually for 12, 15-minute segment. I was like, I want to talk to my man for a little while longer, see what he's been getting into because he's been a busy man this summer. We're going to talk all things NBA, of course, the Dallas Mavericks this upcoming season. But let's just catch up, Fred. What's going on with you? A little busy these days. What's going on?
Yeah, it's been probably the busiest summer of my career. A lot of podcasts going, NBA playoffs, NBA finals. I also worked on a World Cup show that I'm very proud of called After the Whistle with Rebecca Lowe, who is a literal legend, and Brendan Hunt, who is Coach Beard in Ted Lasso. So that wrapped up and started to overlap with a new project, new venture that is taken over my entire life. It is LeBron's Golf YouTube channel. I am directing / show running that. And if you don't know what that means, same. I just know I'm always busy. And it's exciting work. We travel kind of all over the world. Went to Scotland this summer. We've been to Portland. We've been to Cleveland. We've been all sorts of places, beautiful places. And yeah, I love it. It's amazing. We've published one video with the 2016 Cavs reunion, and it's done pretty well in the golf YouTube space. So it's fun. It's a lot of work. It's a big challenge, but it is a dream gig. So I'm very happy about it.
Did you ever imagine your love of basketball colliding in the way that it does with what you do and the passion that you have for it in this way and where it's taken you in your career so far?
No. What are you talking about? What I love about, I've been on Twitter for a while. I've been on part of Mavs Twitter for a long time. I would consider myself to be a pretty, an OG. And if you have followed me for a long time, I have been in the streets. I've published some really embarrassing things, some awful jokes, some terrible memes, some terrible videos. I've done some really crazy stuff. And so the idea now that this is what I do for a living is kind of funny. So I don't know. But it took a lot of hard work, and like I said, I'm very proud of it. It's crazy to go from the just meme guy to Hallelujah to then working with stuff like this. It's just sort of insane, honestly.
Well, your career has taken off in a number of different ways. Your love for basketball, we know, is very, very deep. And as someone who has watched and talked about and covered the Mavs in certain respects as well, it's been a lot of change for this group over the summer with a new president, Masai Ujiri, Dusty May, first-time head coach, coming off a national championship, Mike Smith, the new GM, Cooper Flagg, reigning rookie of the year. Just from a general basketball perspective for you, what have you thought about all the change for this Mavericks team, given what has been happening over the last couple of years in that context?
Love it. I mean, honestly, how could you not? I mean, it's one of those things that, it was a tough couple of years, and the more you can just turn that page completely, the better. And that if that meant you had to lose some stuff that maybe you enjoyed, I think Jason Kidd is actually a prime example. We've all heard stories. We all think we know certain things. None of us really know for sure. But the one thing we do know for sure is that he was a connective tissue to a bad taste in our mouth. And I think it was a good idea to just move on. You have to turn the page, and this is Cooper's team now. And I think it was last year, but there needs to kind of be no remnants of the past as you look forward. And that's my opinion on it. And I think that the teams that have fully embraced that and done it well and executed well, and I think that the Mavs have the right people in place to make those decisions. But when you look at the Spurs and you look at the Thunder, and those are teams that consciously said, "Hey, new chapter, new life." And I feel like it's not going to be that long until Dallas is back in the conversation as a team at the top of the West when you have a player who's as good as Cooper Flagg. And so I love all the retooling. Masai, and like, I think I probably texted you, but just like within like a week of being on staff, was able to say a smarter sentence than anyone affiliated with the Mavs for like an entire year, which is crazy. Like, I don't remember the exact quote, but he said something. I was like, oh my God. He was like, our fans have been through a lot. It was like, it was so subtle, but just to feel, heard, for fans to feel heard in that sense. It's awesome. And then obviously I judged the Dusty thing by just simply like my Michigan friends. Like, I have a ton of Michigan friends and they were so upset. And I judge that as a good sign. I don't really follow college basketball much, but if they're upset, then that means that's a good thing for Dallas. So.
And you mentioned it, Cooper Flagg, of course, the reigning rookie of the year was spectacular as he went throughout the course of his first season, looking for a big year 2. Knowing the way things went down with the Luka trade and how things unfolded from an injury standpoint from this team, and then obviously winning the lottery, and then Cooper Flagg emerging as the number 1 pick in what he went through his rookie year, was he even better than what you thought coming into his rookie season? And how good do you think he can be, as you've seen what he did in his first year and what he looks like he could be in the next 4 or 5 years?
I thought he was. He really did exceed my expectations, and my expectations were really high. That is like God's honest truth. I thought he was going to be a revelation, and then he was that, and then some. And a lot of it had to do not much with basketball, but just sort of like rookie stepping into a grown man's league kind of thing in a kind of a tumultuous environment. I mean, he started his rookie season with Nico Harrison as his GM. Like, I thought it was going to be a weird season. And despite what, people said and Mark Cuban said on your show, and despite what people said, like, well, Cooper's going to solve everything. No, it didn't solve everything. People were still pissed at the beginning of the season. He had to endure that. Jason Kidd is kind of a crapshoot on whether or not he's going to do the right thing. You have to give him credit because he coached Cooper about as well as anyone who could have coached a rookie Cooper Flagg. Like, he did the right things. He made the right moves. Even under scrutiny, he made the right moves. And so, yeah, like the things had to align. And it was really cool to see, the Najee Marshalls and people like that really rally around this kid, like, instantly. And so his performance just exceeded my expectations by like a lot. And yeah, I'm expecting a big year 2. I've texted a couple of Mavs people and be like, what's your gut tell you? And, they're playing hopefully and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, honestly, I think they're going to be like top 3 most like fun team to watch. I just like, you got to watch them. I think Cooper's going to ascend to a level that is like must see TV. And he was close there last year, but it wasn't competitive. So it was kind of hard. But this year, I think it's gonna be great.
It's funny you mentioned it because you led me right to it, because the expectations for this team, I think the vibes, let me start there. The vibes have changed so dramatically over the last several months. And you kind of touched on it with, Cooper Flagg and his ascension, the new regime change as well. It just feels like, Jason, the vibes are back in a way that we haven't felt in a few years, given where this team was with a finals appearance to everything it went through. It feels like in a lot of ways, Mavericks fans are back in a certain way.
I think so. I mean, like, look, we've belabored the point for me in a long time, but like for the first time in a long time, I was like, I'd like to go to a Mavericks game just to watch the Mavs. Haven't said that in a minute. I think it would be, I think it just would be great. And yeah, they've had to endure a lot. And one thing you actually missed, even recently, is that friggin' Jalen Brunson turned out to be him. And that also left. anyways, so that one stung for me. I don't know if it stung for you, but it still kind of stung for me. And I was just like, geez, Lou, and Casey Smith there, and just
Yeah.
a reminder. But starting this season, no, I think the vibes are definitely maybe not quite immaculate, but they're darn close. And I'm like, yeah, I want to make my way down to Dallas and catch a couple games, because I want to see Cooper live. I don't think I've seen him live yet, and I was supposed to go to Luka's first return game last year, and then it snowed. I don't know if you remember, but it was like,
I was there. I
didn't know what to do. I like just gave my ticket away to some fan on Twitter, and in a little bit of a olive branch, like, look, I know I've been talking a lot of shit for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Here's a ticket. That's the best I can do.
Well, you know what? Luka's making it up to you. He's coming to Dallas on his birthday. So on February 28th, the Mavericks are hosting the Lakers on Luka's birthday. So if you're looking for a makeup trip, you could come to Dallas in late February, and celebrate Luka and his birthday.
But I want to come to a game as just like, I want to go to like a nothing burger game. Like I love watching Luka, this. And so I'll likely be at that game. Don't you worry. But I kind of want to like just go to a game against Portland and see what happens. I want to see if I get like drawn in emotionally. I want
to show up on a random Tuesday night and just like, you know what? I feel something tonight. Let's just go and just see what happens tonight.
I'm ready to date again, Kevin. Like, what's the problem?
I love that. Sometimes, you know what? You rekindle the relationship with the ex. If you're like, you know what? Let's give this another try. Something's new, something's different about this time around. Let's just give it another try and see what happens.
Now, I'm just a new man.
You live it in your new man vibe. I like that. And you look, man, the expectations not only for the team from just an on-floor product standpoint, but really in the standings as well. The West is as talented as it's ever been. Victor Wembanyama, the San Antonio Spurs, a little something about the Oklahoma City Thunder, what they got going on there. Where do the Mavericks fit in your mind in the Western Conference, given the amount of change we've seen this offseason?
Boy, it's hard to predict, and it has more to do with the rest of the West than it even does the Mavericks. I think the teams at the top have solidified themselves of what they are. I actually think the Thunder are better than last year. I think that obviously the Spurs are going to be better than last year. I think Denver, God knows what's going on there. But like, it's that sort of middle tier team that, if you're a true optimist, you kind of hope that they can ascend to. And I don't think it's like out of the question either, because the West, the top of the West is like kind of unbelievable, but the middle of the West, it's a little bit of a crapshoot. Like, some people are like LOLing at the Lakers, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I've watched Luka carry it. If you watch Luka carry a team that shouldn't be anywhere close to where they are, and it would not shock me at all if that happened. And Clippers are not really doing like, it's just, I don't know who in the West is like really like ascended. I guess the Wolves look pretty good. But I don't know. I kind of have the Mavs in this sort of like, if you're being conservative, you would say like kind of a middle of the pack to lower tier West team, but I'm not that conservative. Not to get political, but I kind of think that they're gonna exceed expectations. That's my big pick. Is I think they've got a good group, and hopefully Kyrie. I mean, that's the big question mark, right? So yeah.
As I look at them, they have so many wings, they have so many forwards, they have so many front court players. They don't have a lot of playmaking. And you touched on Kyrie. He's 34, going to be 35 in March. Coming out the torn ACL. The first time we see him on the floor in October will be 19, 20 months since he tore that ACL. How much are we expecting too much from Kyrie to kind of unlock all of this, given what's on this roster and what they're going to be asking of him this season?
Probably. Like that's the God's honest truth. It has nothing to do with like Kyrie in the sense of like, it's just, I was talking to a buddy the other day, and it was like, if KD and Russell Westbrook in their prime in the same day went down with ACL injuries, it's going to impact Westbrook way more than it's going to do KD. And it's just the nature of what makes that player special and unique. Kyrie, he's so quick. He like, it is his quickness is like such a big part of his game. Does that same level of unpredictability, quickness he's the kind of player that even a 0.05% chance that he like is second guessing certain moves, like that's hard to recover from. Whereas other players, you could do that and then kind of go right back to your game. I believe that Kyrie is like really smart though, and has probably been obsessing over this very thing that we're talking about for a long time. So, I think he's proven me wrong enough times that I'm going to go ahead and bet on him to come back and take that on. I also think Cooper is a playmaker. Like, I just think he is too. And I think it's a lot of pressure to put on a second-year guy as well. But I don't know. Like in the same kind of like hybrid way that LeBron can play make at times, or Jokic can play make at times. Like, I think he has that in him, and plus the athleticism. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, but the playmaking thing doesn't concern me too terribly much.
It's interesting because Masai Ujiri in his first press conference when he was hired in Dallas, he said, I dream like you dream. I want to see Cooper and Kyrie play together on the floor at the same time. And what will that look like as the two of them start to develop, chemistry together? And I think a lot of fans feel the exact same way, even with the 15-year age gap between the two best players on the team, which is very rare to see that kind of age gap between the two best players on a team. Yeah. But I think just from a basketball nerd standpoint, like, yeah, I want to see what Kyrie and Cooper look like together just for the basketball fun part of it.
Totally. I mean, I think just like Masai said, I think it's going to be really cool. I think, what's cool about Cooper getting to do what he did last season is that I feel like there's then a confidence that he can lead this team. You know what I mean? Because pretend Luke is traded, he comes to the team, Kyrie's healthy. It's just always a little awkward. And it's not to say that it's bad. You know what I mean? It's just life. It's awkward. I mean, you saw LeBron and Luka play together, two of the smartest basketball players ever, still a little awkward at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now, if I'm Kyrie and I'm sitting back and watching, I'm like, oh, I can come back at my own pace. Like, I don't have to be this, that, or the other. Like, this guy's used to bringing the ball down the court and just imposing his will. So I think that's kind of cool. And I don't know, like you said, like, I think pressure's a little like not super high. I know what you said, like, but I don't think pressure's like super high on Kyrie. I think he can come back at his pace. I don't think anybody thinks this team's winning a championship. And what a way to come into the season. You're playing with house money. It's great.
Yeah, because then you can just play free and do your thing. And, you're connected around the league pretty well, obviously. What are folks saying about this group of the Mavericks and what they look like, given what the changes have been made around here? What are folks saying about the Mavericks around the league?
I mean, not that dissimilar from what we're saying, in the sense that, like, I'll say this. There's a contingent of people that are like, Cooper Flagg is going to like ascend to like possibly a top 5 player next year. Like, it's not crazy. And I think he's that good. Maybe that's a little bit of a reach, but like, he's got like a couple more things to unlock. And then you're like, oh my God, this guy's averaging a night. And he's also an unbelievable defender. He'll block your shit into the 6th row. Can I say that? I don't know. But
absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know. It's not, I think that people really value 2-way guys now and stuff like that. So, just don't, that's kind of like the thing that sticks out to me that I've had conversations with people is that, like, Cooper's that good, and we could really see him be like, as far as the group, I think people just don't know what to make of what the Mavericks are going to be. But I think it speaks a little bit more to like, how's the West going to look? How's, how they fit in? I don't know. They're just in a jumble, it seems like.
It's just fun. No, go ahead.
I just like the group. I like perfect effort. Let's roll it out there team to build around a young guy. I think it's great.
Yeah. It's like just some fun unknown elements. A first-time head coach literally coming off a national championship who happens to get to draft one of the players who won a national championship with Marez Johnson. You got a young, talented stud in Cooper Flagg. You got this old, talented, grizzled veteran, quote unquote, in Kyrie Irving. Like there's just so many mixtures of different things happening with this group that'll be fun to see how it plays out because, look, man, this NBA offseason has been unbelievably wild in so many ways. Like if you had told me at the end of the year the Knicks would have ended their 53-year championship drought, LeBron James and Jaylen Brown would leave the Lakers and the Celtics to join the Sixers, LaMelo Ball gets traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and oh, by the way, Giannis finally gets out of Milwaukee and joins Eric Spoelstra and Bam Adebayo in the Miami Heat, among many things that have happened this offseason. What have you made just of the offseason in general and what has been just an unbelievably wild one, it feels like, in so many different respects?
Can I add one more, too, by the way?
Sure. Yeah.
I had this realization as I'm watching, like, the Lakers on the golf course. I'm like, oh, Luka Doncic is the most stable figure in the Lakers organization in that ownership. Like, what? I mean, JJ's there, too, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. Like 2 years ago, you'd be like, no, he's going to be like more of a stability than like Jeannie Buss and like all these people. And you're like, huh? It's been a crazy offseason. It almost feels surreal, like in a way. It almost like it's almost like, again, don't want to get overly political, but you know how like Trump would take office and you would get berated with news over and over again. And then by the end, you just sort of start to like see something scroll. You're not even thinking about it. Whereas like years ago, you'd have been like, holy crap. That's what this offseason kind of felt like. You would just read another one and you'd be like, that's crazy. Kawhi's in Toronto. And you're just like,
and I even mentioned Kawhi, the Kawhi thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's such a crazy, that's what the offseason has sort of felt like. Like at first it was like, here we go. And then it was just like, whoa, the East is like for the first, Tyrese Halliburton said this on our show. This like feels like the first time that the East feels as exciting as the West. He says more exciting, but they got the champs in the Knicks. They've got Giannis in Miami and Giannis and Bam. I mean, my gosh, good luck. They've got Philly, which looks unbelievable. Like Boston, like you got all these teams that just look really, really good. And I don't know, it's gonna be fun. Like I'm excited. And yeah, it's a different offseason. It's so weird. It's so weird. But what's going to be funny is when it's like Spurs Thunder Western Conference Finals.
I mean, yeah, the two top teams in the West. I think you're right. I mean, the Eastern Conference, the storylines, if you took this storyline from the Eastern Conference to Hollywood, they would look at this like, what are you talking about? We're throwing this out. There's no way all of this could transpire. And oh, by the way, Kawhi Leonard still isn't officially with the Toronto Raptors as of yet. And once he's officially there, Toronto's also in the mix. So it just seems like for the first time in a long time, from a storyline perspective, the East has got the juice in a lot of ways coming into an NBA season.
It's got the juice. It's got like, it's not to mention some of these teams that are exciting. Like the Pistons were a top seed last year. Are they going to be again? The Magic are always a weird variable. The Wizards, what in the world? I don't know, but I'm going to watch.
Yes.
The Hawks seem like pretty solid. Like it just feels really weird. And I read something the other day. And it was like James Harden like took less money and adjusted his thing to help the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm like, that's a sentence 3 years ago that have made me LOL. Like it's crazy to see the East this exciting because frankly, the East is just like, I mean, you live in Central Time Zone. The amount of games that I missed because I'm like, nah, do I really need to watch that? And now it's like way, way, way different. I'm excited to watch a lot of these Eastern Conference games. So.
Yeah, my league pass is going to be on fire this year.
I'd be remiss to say because he's a friend, but the Pacers with Tyrese is a fun ass team that made the finals and probably would have won had he stayed healthy. Like that's just like a complete afterthought.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyways, that's all.
Yeah, League Pass is going to be on fire for me this year because the amount of teams, even down to the Wizards, who have like all these guys that you've heard of, but don't know if actually it's going to work. And oh, by the way, just happen to have the number 1 overall pick in AJ DeBonta dropping in there as well. Like even the Wizards at points will be watchable basketball. I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll stop it down and watch some Wiz games at this point.
The Wizards are the great variable of my basketball watching. Like the Wizards are going to be like Vegas. Like it's like I need a break from the Wizards, but like I'm after like a couple weeks, I'm like, maybe I should go watch the Wizards. Like they're gonna be so weird. Like
yeah,
a weird roster. Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to watch how the East unfolds along with the Western Conference. And you're going to be chronicling all of this, not just as a fan, but someone who is a producer. Obviously, you have done a lot when it comes to this entertainment space. And, you talked about a little bit earlier, LeBron and his golf YouTube channel. How did this come together? And what was the genesis of like, you know what? Let's just do this and let's see where it goes. Where did this come from? And what was the genesis of all this?
It's not much. What I love so much about doing this is it's not really that crazy. He like loves golf. I think he like the big suspicion for me. Oh no, my battery. All right. Can I just go to my other camera? Are you good with that?
Absolutely. Right.
Folks, even good producers have problems sometimes. Anyways, so the genesis of it for those wondering, like I think he fell in love with golf YouTube before golf. Like that's my sneaky suspicion because he would get locked in on some of these YouTube channels and ask if I've seen X, Y, or Z, and I was like, no. And then he starts playing, and it's harder to play as you're ramping up for the playoffs. Like he starts ramping up for the playoffs. And so he really was like just watching a lot of golf content. And then I think it was just like, I want to do that. I want to document me and the progression of my game and everything like that. And, my involvement in it was, I was interested in sort of doing more with him. I really enjoyed it. And I also really enjoy sort of putting a lot of focus on helping people build something. But like, the most fun I've had in my career was working with JJ because it was just, you woke up, you went in the lab with one group and you had a mission and that was the mission. When you're working for a bunch of different places, it's a little bit more like hodgepodgey and a tornado, which is still fun. But it, ultimately I was kind of like, I'd like to refocus a bit. And so we had a conversation and it sounded super fun. And I understood the potential of golf YouTube. And I take a lot of pride. I take a lot of pride in the progression of my work. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit, but there we go. I take a lot of pride in the progression of my work. Like the staying ahead of the curve is something that I always try to do. Shout out Bill Simmons. That is something he's always encouraged me to do. If you track the trajectory of my career, it went from improv, musical theater, blogging, making memes, getting into production, getting into podcasting, and now doing golf documentaries and then doing golf YouTube. I really am like a dog chasing a truck. And if it's exciting, if it seems different, but I know it will be successful, I want to be a part of it. And this one was just like a no-brainer. Golf YouTube is very interesting because it's one of those things where it's like, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you think it's crazy. I've told people I'm probably going to step away from podcasting a bit. I'm going to get into golf YouTube. The people who don't know are like, are you good? Like, are you okay? You want money and I help you. But the people who do know understand that there's a massive opportunity there that goes beyond YouTube. Like the amount of golf brands that have, sort of grown their own brand, and you can buy their stuff in stores and you can do X, Y, and Z. One of those brands is in hot water right now, and God bless them. If you know, you know. But there's a massive opportunity, and then you slap LeBron James's name on it. You slap that, he's a Nike athlete. Lord knows what opportunities could arise there. And then you start to put the puzzle pieces together and be like, hey, this is actually a much larger opportunity here for us than I think people might think there is. And I take a lot of pride in the fact that I'm willing to take those leaps. I give LeBron a ton of credit because I think he could do anything he wants, like literally anything he wants. And the fact that he's doing something that no one really expected him to do is really cool. And he's enjoying it. And I love the process, not to like get too in the weeds, but like, I love the fact that he is allowing us to show how not great he is right now. Like, I love that he's embracing that. Like billionaire best athlete in the world is willing to go out there and make a fool out of himself on camera. It's amazing. Like, so anyways, I love it. That's that. I probably over answered that question, but
No, not at all. It's a great window into not just the way things continue to evolve from a production, from an entertainment, really a cultural perspective, but also just looking at how you have embraced it. And that's a life lesson I think anyone can take is like, hey, if you're willing to be malleable and evolve with what things are happening around you and you still have a passion for it, there's a lane for you to discover and find. Will you drive down that lane and take it on for what it is and then be able to be amenable to the change that comes with it? I think that's a great life lesson that folks could take from that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I understand my Mavs fandom has been questioned over the last few years, and I understand it. But I used to literally live my career with the motto that young Rick Carlisle, when he was coaching the Dallas Mavericks, used to say. He used to always talk about being opportunistic. He would use it in reference to offseason moves. He would use it in reference to players getting opportunities when, you know, stars were injured. He would always talk about being opportunistic. And he would grind that word into every press conference. And I started to really think about my career. And, you know, I knew I wanted to entertain people. I knew I had a love of sports, and those things just kept blending together. You know, but I kept the funnel for which, what do I want to do with my life and my career? I kept that funnel large, and I said yes to things and blah, blah, blah. And then I jumped on things that made sense. And that's like literally like just kept telling myself, be opportunistic here where you can. So shout out Rick Carlisle.
Last one, I'll get you out of here on this. You know, obviously the busy schedule that you have, you're traveling constantly, you're at games, you're into the production, you're doing all these sorts of things. How does that balance work for you and your family and the way that they support you, and obviously all the things that you're doing and what that means for how you go about, you know, not just scheduling your day, but also how you go about wanting to fulfill these dreams in the context of, you know, you got a family life too.
You saved the deepest question for last. I love it. Yeah. Look, it's not gonna be the same every month, every year. I think that's something that we've sort of learned to embrace in my career, I guess. This summer was particularly busy, particularly hard in the gig. You know, in most jobs, you can give a notice and then hopefully take a couple weeks off, maybe a month off or whatever. In the gig economy, a lot of times it's like when I'm hopping to a next gig, there's usually some sort of overlap. And so there's some sort of like period in which I'm doing more jobs than I should be doing. That happened this summer. And the family just really adjusted. Now, you know, when the kid was younger, it was much, much more difficult. I think him getting older, oh God, I'm about to get a little, but the kid getting older, you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, he's 12, still got a ways to go, but you see the light.
Mine is 9. I'm right there with you. Mine is 9. She'll be 10 next summer.
Things. Wait till that double digit hits. It hits like a ton of bricks on your chest. And when they start to get older, not only are you like looking to soak in as much time with your family as possible, but you're also seeing, oh, I have to like find identity in my own life. And I think I'm at like a good place right now where it's like, I have to like be a little like a small percentage more selfish than I normally would be, because if he leaves at 18 and I've been like my whole life's revolved around this child, you know, then that's going to hit me like a ton of bricks. So I'm trying to like actually take a little bit more time back. These trips, these long extended trips are coming at a good time where, you know, where he's going to school, and, you know, I come back from these trips and I'm like, hey, we're going to hang out. And he's like, oh, I got a sleepover. And, you know, it's starting to become real that he's his own person. And so that's the balance that we're trying to like find, you know. and the support's been great. You know, from my family, I could tell you a step by step every year what the lesson was that I learned. But I don't know, when you're back, like you gotta lock the F in. I'll tell you that. It's very real, as I'm sure you know. And I don't know, especially this time now where there's no basketball. So this is the time where you got to really make it up to the family, as I'm sure you know.
Understood, because intentionality is everything. Last summer, that kind of was for me, because for the first time, I was like extremely busy to a point. I was like, okay, once the season's over with, I'm locking in with my wife. I'm locking in with my daughter. Whatever y'all want to do, we're doing it. You want to go here? Want to go see? We're going to go do it, because for the first time, I was like, I had to take a step back and like, you know what? This was a lot. Not only do I kind of need to recharge, but also the family kind of needs me back a little bit, and I'm going to give them the time that they deserve, given what time.
I'll credit my family for one thing. They know that I need like 24 hours. Like after a big thing, like we just went to Portland and it was like 16-hour days every day, whatever. And I just like get home, tell them, give me 24 hours. And then like, you got me. But like, I need to go pass out, let my bones heal, and then I'm back, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great when family can do that for you, because, hey, they understand it's a sacrifice, but also, hey, man, you're trying to pay the bills too. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
And I don't want to be cranky when I'm hanging out. I don't you know, I don't want to be that person. So, yeah.
For sure. Jason, tell the folks where they can find you. What you got going on, man?
Yeah, I'm on all the things, all the platforms, Jason Gallagher. Just look it up. And yeah, follow LeBron James on YouTube, because we're running stuff there. We've got really fun, exciting episodes coming up. And I'm so excited for people to see this side of LeBron, even more so than Scotland. He really is just like more and more himself with each shoot. So I'm excited for people to see that. So please go check that channel out, subscribe to that. Will be greatly appreciated.
Jason is one of the best people that I've come to know in this business over the last few years. He's got a great perspective about him, and I enjoy all the work that he's done. It's been really cool getting to know you over the last few years. You got a young family like me, and I think as I've watched you over the years, I've identified in a lot of ways like, hey, if Jason could get out here and do all this stuff, you know, I could do it too, because it's a hard balance, but at the same time, it's worth pursuing the dreams and being able to have the people behind you to support you. So it's cool getting to know you, man. And I love the fact that we had the chance to get this done and have this conversation. Look forward to doing this with you at some point down the road too, man.
Yeah, let's do it again. I appreciate that.
For sure. Make sure you follow us on DLS_Mavs, wherever you get your podcast for free. Just search DLS Mavs, give it a 5-star rating, and write a review for it while you're there. You can catch us every single day, of course, on DLS Sports, part of the All City Network, with my guys, Ron Herrod Jr., Bobby Krill, and, of course, our national NBA insider, Mark Stein. My name is Kevin Gray. We are DLS Mavs. We'll talk to you next time. Y'all be good. Peace.